The Disaster Fiscal Recovery Playbook was developed to assist Michigan County road agencies before, during, and after natural disaster events to ensure they can apply for all available state and federal funding sources to recover from disaster events. These videos give an overview of the playbook and highlights the resources and actions that can be taken for 3 stages of a disaster: preparedness, response, and fiscal recovery. Preparedness. This video discusses the preparedness section of the playbook, which recommends actions to proactively prepare for disasters, including procedures, policies, and fiscal recovery templates that should be in place before a disaster takes place. Road and bridge policy adoption. Having the agency board establish a strong, clear pavement restoration policy is vital to ensure maximum reimbursement from federal funding programs. Eligible costs for federal funding are typically determined by existing standards that are in place before the disaster event. Adopting a strong right-of-way restoration policy that clearly states how damaged roadways will be brought in line with AASHTO standards when repaired will position local road agencies to complete more comprehensive repairs with federal funds. The playbook provides a template road restoration policy that local agencies can adapt and adopt to their needs. Operations and maintenance records. Maintaining good maintenance records is important for potential reimbursement after a disaster. Before a disaster is the ideal time to develop disaster recovery policies and procedures. The playbook includes examples of good maintenance records and disaster recovery policies and procedures. Emergency procurement policies. Proactively establishing emergency procurement procedures and strengthening existing procedures to meet federal standards can be vital in expediting repair work in the aftermath of a disaster. Develop and formally adopt emergency procurement policies and procedures before a disaster occurs. The playbook provides a template emergency procurement policy as well as information to consider when utilizing contracted resources under exigent or emergency circumstances. Understanding disaster declarations. Understanding what the disaster declaration process looks like allows some expectations to be set regarding funding resources that may become available after a disaster. There are typically 3 levels of disaster declarations. Local declaration. Most disasters are handled solely by local government. A local declaration recommended by the local emergency management coordinator ensures the response and recovery aspects of the emergency operations plan have been activated and local resources are being fully utilized. State declaration. If recovery efforts are beyond the ability of local government, the community may turn to the state to request assistance. All requests for assistance are channeled through the Michigan State Police, which provides a recommendation to the governor's office. Federal declaration. If state and local government resources are unable to cope with the disaster, the governor may request assistance through the FEMA regional office. FEMA will consider multiple aspects of the disaster, including the estimated cost of assistance, the localized impact, and the area's history of disasters before making a recommendation to the U.S. President. Proactively engage officials and representatives. A good relationship with elected officials and representatives and the local emergency management coordinator is vital in the immediate aftermath and recovery from a disaster. It's important to establish these relationships and lines of communications well before a disaster. If applicable, local road agencies should also proactively engage local tribal governments to ensure the appropriate roadways are listed on the National Tribal Transportation Facility Inventory Network and are eligible for Bureau of Indian Affairs emergency relief for federally owned roads funding after a disaster.